Hello everyone, myself Mohammad Ramesh and I welcome you all on behalf of Saraswat International Academy. Today in this session we are going to learn the part 4 of chapter number 5, Poverty. So students, till now in this chapter we have discussed about the meaning of poverty. We have seen there are two types of poverty. One is absolute poverty and second is relative poverty. We have discussed both of them in detail. And in the previous session, we have started with the part that is indicators of poverty. In that, we have discussed the per capita consumption expenditure. And in that, we have seen that the per capita consumption expenditure of developing countries is much lesser compared to that of developed countries. We have discussed this with an example that countries such as US and UK are having the much higher per capita consumption household expenditure and comparatively to comparatively developing countries, that is India, Pakistan, their per capita household consumption expenditure is very less. Now today our new topic, that is we are going to continue the topic of indicators of poverty. We are going to see the second indicator of poverty, that is level of malnutrition. Malnutrition is such a situation in which the food taken by individual, in which the intake of food by an individual lacks. Lacks means kami hona of what thing? The food they are taking, in that food there is a lacking of calorie, protein, carbohydrate, vitamin and mineral. We know that these are the things: calories, protein, carbohydrate, vitamin and mineral. For a good diet these things are required, but there are the people who are not getting this thing in their diet. In India, in spite of an increase in agriculture production, in India the agriculture production is increasing, people with low income are unable to get the nutritious food because of low per capita income. There are the people who are not able to get the food in a complete diet form. Because what? Because of their low per capita income. Their income is less and unequal distribution of income. These two are the reason of what? Of the poverty. India's information regarding the people with malnutrition is as follow. So students, here is the table given in which the measurement of malnourished people in percentage it is shown. In the first column the years are given, and here in the second column the total malnourished people in percentage shown. The data source of this table is given by Economic Survey. Now in this paragraph the analysis is given of the above table. We will study this. According to the above table, in the time period of 1990 to 1992, India has total 23.7% of malnourished people. India is how much? 23.7% of the population of India are malnourished. They are not getting the proper food. Likewise, in the year 2000 to 2002, how much? 17.5% population is not getting a proper food. And in the year 2005 to 2007, 20.5% of the people are not getting the proper diet food. And same way in the year 2010 to 2012, it is 15.6%. And in the year 2014 to 16, it is 15.2. But students, 15.2% of the population of India is not getting the proper food. Their food is lacking of the mineral, calorie, protein, carbohydrate. This 15.2% is quite high. Now the next thing, according to the FAO report of 2015, the situation of food security in India ranks second in the world in measurement of malnourished, which indicates poverty in India. So students, here it is shown that Food and Agriculture Organization have presented the report in the year 2015, and in the report they showed that food security in India ranks second in the world in the measurement of malnourished. Okay, so here it shows that many of the people of our country are not getting the proper quality of food in their diet. And this shows what? This shows the poverty in India. Now, the third indicator, that is life expectancy and infant mortality rate. Let's start with the life expectancy. Life expectancy means that how long newborn baby is expected to live on an average. In other words, you can say the number of years a newborn baby can live is called life expectancy. The average life expectancy of the people in a country depend on the following things. It depends on the nutritious food, cleanliness, pure drinking water and health services. So here it is said that the life expectancy of the people in a country depend on what kind of food they are consuming. If they are consuming a good proper food, then the life expectancy will be more. And it also depend on the cleanliness. It depend on how good quality water the people are consuming, and on health services in a country. If these facilities are good, then the life expectancy of a people in a country will be more. Now see the next thing, poor people are deprived of. Deprived of means that they are not getting these facilities. So their life expectancy is what? Their life expectancy is low. Infant mortality rate. First of all, you should know what is the meaning of mortality rate. Mortality means death rate, and here it is about infant. Infant means child. Infant mortality means number of death taking place per thousand. Infant mortality rate is counted in per thousand children born before reaching the age of 1 year. So here it shows that infant mortality rate means that how much number of the children are dying before the completion of 1 year. It is counted in per thousand. I will repeat, infant mortality rate means that number of the children dying before the completion of 1 year, and it is counted in per thousand. Now, the rate of infant mortality rate depend on the following factor. The first thing is availability of the health services in a country. Then mother's education play a very important role. Then vaccination among children. If the proper vaccination is given to the children, then the chances of the death of the children will be less. If mother is taking care properly of the child, then the chances of the death, infant mortality rate is less. And it also depends on the consumption of the food of the child. Infant mortality rate is also an indicator of poverty in respect to poor health services. If the infant mortality rate is high, then it shows that number of the dying children is more, and it shows the situation of poverty in India. Now here the table is given about the life expectancy and infant mortality rate. The source of this table, the data is given by HDR, Human Development Report of 2015, and the Economic Survey of 2015 and 16. So first we will see, here the name of countries are there and life expectancy. It is of year 2014. So in Norway you can see the life expectancy is 81.6, USA 79.1 years, Sri Lanka 74.9, China 75.8, and India 68 years. So here it is showed that Life expectancy of Norway is quite high. The longevity of life of the people of Norway is 81.6, and India it is, you can see, 68 years. Now in this table you can see the infant mortality rate. So from it is counted in how much number? 1000 numbers. So from 1000 children, okay, in Norway only 2 child died, and in USA you can see 6 child die from 1000, Sri Lanka 9, China 10, and in India you can see the rate is 39. Out of 1000 children, 39 child die before the completion of the 1 year. Now here the table is given about the life expectancy and infant mortality rate. The source of this table, the data is given by HDR Human Development Report of 2015 and the Economic Survey of 2015 and 16. So first we will see here the name of countries are there and life expectancy. It is of year 2014. So in Norway you can see the life expectancy is 81.6, USA 79.1 years, Sri Lanka 74.9, China 75.8, and India 68 years. So here it is showed that life expectancy of Norway is quite high. The longevity of life of the people of Norway is 81.6, and India it is, you can see, 68 years. Now in this table you can see the infant mortality rate. So from it is counted in how much number? 1000 numbers. So from 1000 children, okay, in Norway only 2 child died, and in USA you can see 6 child die from 1000, Sri Lanka 9, China 10, and in India you can see the rate is 39. Out of 1000 children, 39 child die before the completion of the 1 year. Here is the analysis of the above table. According to above information, Norway life expectancy is 81.6 years, America 79.1 years, and Sri Lanka 74.9 years. And China life expectancy is 75.8 years. Whereas India life expectancy is how much? 68 years, which is even less than China and Sri Lanka. So here it is says that India life expectancy comparatively to China and Sri Lanka also is very low. It is only 68 years. And in case of child mortality rate, child death rate, in Norway 2 children die per 1000, in America 6, in Sri Lanka it is 9, and in China it is 10. Whereas if you will see the data of India, 39 children die before completion of the 1 year, and it is quite high. Now the next indicator of poverty is medical facility. In health sector, doctor, nurse, compounder, etc. are included, and their scarcity adversely, and their scarcity is what? Affecting negatively on the health services. India, as compared to other countries, lacks medical services and doctors. So here in this paragraph it is said that in health sector, doctor, nurses and compounders are an important part, and their scarcity, उनकी कमी होना, is going to affect negatively on the health sector. And comparing to the other country, India is having the lack of medical facility and the number of doctors. In developing economies, people get less medical services. India is also one of the developing country, and in the developing economy, the people get less medical services. They often suffer from various diseases as poor people do not get complete nutritious food. Okay, the poor people are not getting the proper diet food. They don't get the proper protein, vitamin, calorie in their diet. So they get ill and they get catch in the different diseases. As a result, their immunity is too low. Their immunity, poor people immunity is what? Too low. The country has less medical facilities and people are deprived of. Deprived of means they are not getting these health services. As a result, poverty is more. In developing countries, every 6,000 population, one doctor is available. Okay, so you have to imagine the data that for every 6,000 people, only one doctor is there. Whereas among the developed economies, among the developed country, for 350 people, one doctor is there. So if you will compare this data, then you will get to know that there are the very less number of doctors. Again, we will revise this. In developing economy, in every 6,000 population, for the 6,000 population, only one doctor, and in developed economy, 350 people, for 350 people, one doctor is there. This you have to remember all the data for MCQ and one line. In developing countries, every year 1.7 crore people die from disease such as diarrhea, malaria and TB. Then in the whole world, 2.3 crore people are suffering from AIDS. Out of this 90% belong from developing economies. So here it shows clearly that how developing countries are fail in medical facility. Now the next indicator, that is drinking water. Health of the population, health of the people of the country is much connected with what? Drinking water and the facility of cleanliness. According to the census report of the year 2011, in India 63.3% families get pure drinking water through treated source. So here it is said that only 63.3% of families get the pure drinking water. Okay, India population, you can imagine it is in crores, and from that only 63.3% get the pure drinking water, and rest you can see the data is given ahead. 8.67% families get untreated tap water, and 26% people get water from the other sources such as well, hand pump, tube well, spring, river, canal, pond. So here is the data how the people acquire the facility of drinking water in India. In the absence of pure drinking water, polluted water increases the chances of having waterborne disease and hence make the problem of poverty more severe. So by seeing the above data, we can get an idea that like around 40% or 30% of the population is not getting the pure treated water. Okay, so by drinking this water which is polluted or contaminated, the chances of having waterborne disease increases and hence make the problem of poverty more severe.